Hello YouTube, the Kingpin of Cinema.
And the QB999.
It's been a while since we've done any video updates. We've been all really busy.
You know, graduating, booyah, as well as a Vegas trip where we lost a shitload of money.
So, you know, nothing important for him. I've been working, which is important. None of this wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for my job.
Oh, and my camera.
That's not important. I can buy a camera.
Anyway, we figured we'd bring you the most recent news first.
Or really our 2 cents on our thoughts of the E3 event going on right now. Now, it's just started, and we don't have everything.
Really, the reason why we're doing this is because G4 usually does its, floor show. But the real big parts of E3 are the Sony show, the Microsoft, and the Nintendo, which have happened now.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I do like the G4 coverage of it.
Yeah, they do a good job of covering all the big stuff, the important stuff, the stuff you actually want to hear about.
And also, some other people that do a good job of doing in-depth interviews is Angry Joe and the Spooning one, which I can't wait to see all their coverage of it.
So anyway, the show starts off with Ubisoft and Sony sharing the same
stage.
The same stage, the same day. Ubisoft starts off with their own stuff, which I'm not even sure why Ubisoft is gets the special treatment of its own show.
Yeah, when has ever Ubisoft been a major company? Well, I'm biased because I hate Assassin's Creed. Some people out there like it. I don't know why.
Because it's fun.
Because you got Batman, and that's, to be fair, Batman's a better game.
But you don't get to stab people in the eye.
But I get to play as Batman.
You can pretend to be Batman.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Ubisoft kind of came and went with its Assassin's Creed games and a few others I can't really even remember.
Like new Rayman.
A new Rayman game.
Yeah, Rayman Origins.
Which is supposed to kind of take it back to its original roots of 2D platforming.
Which is good.
Better than the Raven Rabbids junk we have now.
You know, the Raven Rabbids, the first one was, really funny. And then it's stopped being funny after that.
And yet they keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, after that, Sony came up. Basically, they did start the show off, as you would expect, apologizing for the whole PSN hacked debacle.
Debacle.
Same thing. No, it's debacle, because they really screwed it up.
You're giving it a bad name for graduates.
Or a good name.
So that's how they first started out. Basically, they started going over some of their big games, such as the new Uncharted, which looks
good.
Excellent, just as good as the first, second. Very articulate, very theatrical, much like the movie it's supposed to be.
I'm hoping more for, it being more like Uncharted 1 and less Uncharted 2. Because I think Uncharted 2 is a bit overrated, I should say. But Uncharted 1 is an amazing game. And I love every second of Uncharted 1.
Of course, they also took the time to show off Resistance 3, which looks, it kind of looks the same.
It sucks. Resistance is overrated. Resistance just rips off everybody else that does games better.
They showed off some of their new other stuff, like sports games, fighting games. Of course, the big part of their show was supposed to be the new PSP, the new handheld.
And their new app system for cell phone users, PSP Suite, which is where you can get PSP content on your cell phone. Now, I kind of am in the camp of, and the reason why of doing this is once cell phone users get to see great content on their cell phones from Sony products, they'll go to the PSP too. And that's what they said in the show. I'm in the camp of thinking...
But then they forget, this is the United States. We're not as big into portable gaming as Japan is. That's why the DS is so big over there, is because it has all those portable game features that we don't really utilize as much over here.
Yeah, if on my cell phone I can play great Sony content on it, why do I need a PSP? I know they're doing this to get money either way, but it's just I don't see how it helps your cause when you're you can still get our great content on your phone that you could get on our handheld. Why do I need to buy the handheld when I can just have the phone?
Overall, it's a handheld I'm probably not going to get. I got a PSP a while ago. I sold it and basically traded up to an Xbox for that one.
Believe me, I still have my PSP, and I don't care about it. I own 3 games for it, and that's it. There's nothing interesting on the damn thing.
Now, that's basically how Sony finished up. We will say, out of all of them, Sony probably did do the weakest.
Well, another thing to mention is, like, every goddamn game that they showed is like, oh, this is compatible for Move. This is also compatible for our Move. And it's like, why do I need the Move when I could use the regular controller? They haven't convinced anyone as to why they need the Move.
Except for one game.
They showed off one Move exclusive.
Medieval, but with like a kid version of the skeleton guy.
Yeah, and it looks stupid. It's pointless.
Now then, after that, I believe it was the Nintendo show that was next.
Yeah, Nintendo.
And of course, Nintendo had the big buzz around it, saying how they were going to show their next new system to overtake the Wii and kind of go into the HD stage, as well as better online play, which they eventually did get to. Of course, first, they're showing off all the big stuff, again, that they showed off last year. Mostly the 3DS stuff, like new Zeldas, Kid Icarus, all that stuff that you were hoping to see at the launch of the 3DS, but didn't.
And still haven't seen yet. And of course, they showed off the new Zelda game. But
Skyward Sword.
Does it look better?
I actually don't have a Wii, so I never got to play Twilight Princess.
Well, hopefully it's good. But their big thing that they're hyping up to no end is their new console, which
they showed off to be nothing more for now than a controller with a big ass screen in it.
It looks like an iPad.
They call it the Wii U.
Yeah, which is a terrible name.
Well, it's because it's like the Wii was supposed to symbolize the party aspect of gaming, whereas the Wii U symbolizes the U aspect.
I don't know.
And really, it doesn't really show off to be its own system. It seems like, from what they showed, it's another kind of peripheral to be used with the Wii. And can be doubled as its own little handheld.
I just don't know about it.
The functions it really showed was you can play the games either on the TV or on the screen for there, or use it in other games as kind of like a secondary perspective. Where an example they gave was a game where you and your friends are kind of like chasing each other, and where your friends are kind of like looking at the TV using a Wiimote. If you have this one, you get an overhead view and see where everyone else is, so you get a mini-map along with it.
So you cheat.
Pretty much.
And it also has like a touchpad on it as well.
For it's like its own little arcade gaming, like checkers, stuff like that.
I kind of just feel like it's making these games more complicated instead of being more simple.
See, even the G4 people were still confused as to whether, is this the system? Is this just the controller? Do we still have yet to see the actual box system or the console itself that goes along with this? I'm just so on the fence of this new thing. I'm just like, I don't know what to really think about it. I'm kind of going more negative towards it because I don't see the point of it. I mean, why do I need to buy this? They haven't done anything or shown me anything that says I have to have this. I just don't know. I don't know if this is going to catch on at all. Maybe. I think price point is really what's going to determine if this is successful or not. And also the fact if this is just the control, if that controller is the system, or if it goes with another new console, or if it just connects with the Wii, you still don't know yet. Nobody knows if there's like going to be like, is it going to come with a box, and am I going to be able to like go online with my friends? I'm going to be like profile, social networking kind of stuff with it. They did say they're fixing up their online play and everything. But we'll see. I don't know how you can do that with the Wii. I think they just need a new console for that. Like I said, we don't know. Nobody knows. Nintendo's got a game plan, and they're the only ones that think it's good. Alright, so that was basically a Nintendo show. Show off all the old-fashioned stuff. Zelda, Mario, all that stuff. Mostly nothing new, and one thing that just boggles the mind. And then finally they finished up with Microsoft that same day. Mm-hmm. Microsoft, of course, uses like the first half an hour to show off some of their real gaming stuff, like Gears 3. Which is awesome. Mass Effect 3. Which is awesome. But then everything after that is straightforward Connect, which all this handheld stuff really excludes us because we don't give a shit about it. We really don't. I don't have a Kinect. I'm probably never going to get one. Why do I need to see all this stuff concerning the Kinect? I mean, you said the PS Move is like, you can either use the PS Move or the controller. There's no exclusivity. Whereas with the Kinect, everything is basically exclusive to the Kinect. So then nothing of that applies to me. So why do I even bother watching this portion?
Well, really, yeah, there's a lot of things that are exclusive to Kinect, but none of it convinces me to get a Kinect.
There was one thing I'm sure Morgulicious would like, which is where you can take a virtual world tour of Disney and play games.
Oh my god.
That is actually kind of neat, I'll be honest, but...
We're getting a Kinect!
I think you're getting the Kinect now.
And we could play some Zumba and yoga.
But still, so, a lot of their ending part of the show, a majority of what I remember is just all of the Kinect stuff. Which, not a big deal. The biggest thing I saw was that, you can take a picture of yourself, and it would make a perfect replica avatar of you.
Well, why do we need that?
So you can have a perfect avatar of you.
So you can cover up of stuff that you buy on the online market. Hey, I'm going to make this perfect replica of me, and put this Bioshock helmet on my head, completely covering it. What the fuck's the point?
Yeah, of course, Mass Effect 3 looks really good.
And honestly, that was the one I'm looking for the most to see more stuff on. But one I'd say is probably the biggest surprise, and one that gave me the biggest jaw-dropping moment is Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, which looks amazing.
Oblivion I played through and was really, really good. Especially the Isles of Madness. Just because the king of that world was freaking hilarious. But the only complaint I had about that was the magic seemed to be very underpowered. And also the fact that, when I read the strategy guide, it said every single boss, if you're a mage, you're going to have a harder time with this guy. If you're a mage, you're going to have a harder time with this guy. This is what's
kind of cool about Elder Scrolls V. They're not really going to be doing classes. You can, play your character... You can be, kind of like a jack of all trades, and you assign different, weapons or magics to each arm. So you can have, a lightning spell in both hands. You can fire them off individually, or you can combine it to make one big spell. So you're not, limited on magic or types of weapons. You can use everything. And you can get good with, one or two things we're focused on getting good at with everything. So that's kind of cool.
Microsoft, of course, has to... You can never go on E3 without talking about Halo. So they're doing Halo 1 Remastered for the Anniversary Edition, which is... Okay. I'm going to buy that game, and then replay it using the old-style graphics.
Yeah, at least you got the option. Hey, I could play my Xbox One Halo, or I could buy the Anniversary one and play with those graphics.
At least then I get achievements. And then, of course, they're talking about a Halo 4, which I guess is supposed to be a brand new trilogy.
Yeah, with a new company.
Where, from what I gathered from the trailers, they're fighting the Reapers.
It looked like it. And it was funny because I was kind of thinking, wouldn't it be cool if you had a Halo game that was kind of like Mass Effect, where you had central hubs to go to, and you go around and talk to people, and you go on missions and stuff. I mean, it would kind of change the pace in a better direction. But then why have it be that when I just have Mass Effect?
So overall, Microsoft's show was okay. Overly used the Kinect, I think, for people like myself and the Kingpin who don't have it. The one thing I'd say was pretty neat about the Kinect was they showed off the new Fable game, which was pretty neat, is that you use different spells by doing different hand motions. Like, you can make a giant spear by rotating your hands like this, and then forming the spear, and then just throwing it, and then causing it to explode. Pretty neat engine, just the way that the game moves, though, because it's in first person, and because you're kind of sitting there and just doing hand motions, I didn't really see any way for you to physically move yourself. So it seemed more like a rail shooter. Mm-hmm. Instead of a full-on, RPG game. Like
if it was, an actual Fable game, but in first person, and you pick up the controller and move, and it's time to do a fire spell, and pick up the controller again. That would be awkward as hell.
Yeah, so that's the only condition I see with the Kinect, though, is those type of regular game, action-adventure games, kind of harder to do with the control scheme.
Yeah.
Anyway, overall, disappointment summarizes the C3 show, just because there were no real big excitement. There wasn't really any surprises.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, usually these companies have really big announcements to give during each show, and things you're really looking forward to, things that kind of blow you off your feet. There wasn't really anything for this. It was mostly just a promotional show, you know, trying to really push out the new stuff, the new PSP, the Kinect, the PS Move, the new handheld for Wii.
Or console.
Whatever it is.
Whatever the fuck it is.
I mean, you'll probably buy it, take it out of the box, and the first thing you'll hear is, "What am I?"
You know, I'd say, yeah, on the console front, it's pretty dumb. But on the, like, third-party side, it's actually really exciting, because there's some actually really cool stuff coming out.
And the G4 coverage definitely skips over all the shit, and definitely goes over more of the big-time stuff, the stuff you'll actually care about.
Yeah, the hardcore kind of gaming kind of stuff, you know, the guys that are actually, you know, changing the industry or evolving the industry into better things instead of this motion crap and 3D crap.
So overall, probably my least liked E3 so far.
I think this is better than last year's.
Really?
Easily. You know, like, last year, you really didn't have anything to look forward to in terms of games. This year has been pretty damn exciting, because we got, you know, Mass Effect 3, Uncharted 3, and Skyrim.
Yeah, I just kind of wish they did more with those games, and less on the peripheral stuff.
Yeah, and Gears of War 3. I mean, there's some really cool stuff to look forward to in terms of playing games.
Overall, cool stuff coming out. Just wish they focused more on that stuff than less on the Kinect and everything.
Just wait till Comic-Con. Better stuff comes around Comic-Con nowadays. Well, that's all we have to say. Thanks for tuning in.
It was at least better than the MTV Movie Awards or the Twilight Awards, as they will be known for the next 2 years.
Well, more on that.